Hey there, groupies. How are you today? We are up to habit 6 of 7 habits of highly effective people, which is Synergize. Or habit 6 is Synergize. Hello there, Colleen.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Nikki. Thank you for having me with you again.
Oh, always a pleasure. Love it. And we're up to week 6. So habit 6 as well. So actually it's 7 because I think we did an intro first, didn't we? So
yes.
Yeah, so Synergize.
Yeah, so this
not
actually
what you was expecting.
Yeah, and my thinking of synergizing was like syncing, like, you know, when things are, you know, a match. But in actual fact, synergizing is actually the bringing things together. Sorry about that. And getting the best of the best perspectives, the best ideas to actually create a better whole, which I hadn't really thought about it that way. And one of the things that I really liked, the analogy, was when two plants are planted close together, that they actually improve the soil, so both plants grow better.
Yeah, I liked that too, actually.
Yeah.
And then they sort of say, there's another one, synergy is almost as if a group collectively agrees to subordinate old scripts and to write new ones.
Yeah, so putting aside the differences and nutting out new ways and different ways of doing things.
Yeah. So and I think that's the thing, isn't it? Sometimes you're probably going, oh, you got those things in common, that synergy, you're together, but actually it's working together to get that best outcome, but you're getting the different points of view, but it's not a I'm right, you're wrong sort of scenario. It's going, okay, tell me more about your way of thinking, and being open.
Curiosity again.
Yeah.
So,
and I guess that's, but it's also really takes in all the other habits to obviously get to habit 6. So you're not, unless you've been, you know, you're working on yourself and being proactive and, you know, listening, seek to understand before be understood, understand the win-win approach. All those habits do come into effect to get to that synergize point. So unless you inhabit these other habits, you're never going to get to that synergizing point. So I think it really does bring it all together, but how you work together collectively as a group, have your different points of view then to get the best outcome that you need for whatever that might be. And that can be in this scenario, it can be in your family, it can be used in quite a few different scenarios.
I liked the way he the story he shared with you know, the husband and wife wanting different things in their time away, and that it didn't have to be, you know, one way or the other. You know, it's a matter of, okay, well, if we can't do what we planned, you know, what is it that, you know, I want to achieve, and what do you want to achieve, and what do we want to achieve as a family, and how can we find an alternate way of having our holiday but meeting all of our needs?
Sort of in that compromising view. But he also says too, like, you know, do you agree with my point of view? And if they say no, they've got a different point of view, that's when you actually change your thinking, instead of getting that defensive sort of mode. Good, let me understand what your point of view is, and let's have a chat about it. And so it's actually seeing that as a positive, and again getting curious about, okay, you've got a different point of view, let me know what that is. And again, that's a different map. You know, we all have our different maps. Getting an understanding of what it is that their point of view is, because we always think that we're right. You know, our map's right, that's correct, but it's getting to know others as well. And
yeah, so next time we have that situation where we have someone come back with their thinking and we feel ourselves sort of getting a bit defensive, yeah, remembering that, well, that's interesting, tell me more, rather than having it's got to be my way.
Yeah. And what do they say? You learn when you listen.
You do learn when you
more
listen.
than when you talk. So yeah, I think
so true.
I think that was it. I mean, like we both said, this chapter is actually, it's just really kind of bringing it all together.
Yeah, that ultimately we're improving our communication, we're talking win-win, and successful outcomes. And
I've got, I've highlighted it, but you're valuing the differences in people. So so that's the essence of what synergy is. Embracing people's different opinions and their different map to yours, and learning, understanding.
Yeah, exactly. So you see the old lady and I see the young lady, and working out what it is that we're seeing and how are we seeing it differently, and having a discussion rather than the debate that I'm right, and you're wrong. Yeah, and that's it. Oh, you see, instead of going, how could you see the young lady? Yeah. Oh, definitely. Instead of going, okay, show me. Yeah. How are you seeing that young lady? I want to see her as well. So seeing it from a different point of view is always good, and you can get a broader overview to make a decision that's best for that situation as well. Yeah. There was a graph. I'm going to attempt to jump on the whiteboard again. Just for all the visual people out there.
Yeah, so hopefully this works. So Colleen, if you want to explain it.
Okay, so along the see, I'm not very good at actually telling it, axes and but the the vertical line represents trust, and the horizontal line represents cooperation. And so if we look at the two corners, we're looking at low trust and low cooperation. When we have low trust, low cooperation, we're in a lose-lose space. We go to the defensive win-lose or lose-win.
Win-lose down the bottom here, or lose-win.
Yep. And then the next step up, when we've got more trust and more cooperation, we have respect and compromise. And then when we get to high trust and high cooperation, this is where we're synergized and we're win-win.
Yes. This is where you can see all the how the habits do come into play. And it's all about that trust and bank account, isn't it?
It is. It's definitely building the bank account. And then, as we've said before, the more we have in our bank account, the more we're going to be trusted. And when something doesn't go quite right, we've got credit there. But if we don't have that trust account built and we don't have any credit, when we don't show up on time, or when we ignore someone, or whatever it might be, we go below the line, and we just don't have any trust or respect.
No.
Or cooperation.
And I think that's it. Like, if you're really going in that defensive mode, if you're going in and you're talking to people and you've got that I'm right, I want to win, or in the other side too, if you're a people pleaser and you just are in that lose-win, you're not really bringing anything to the table, because you're always wanting to please others, that you'll do what they want. Whereas
you drain your bank account.
Yeah, you drain your bank account, but also like you're not getting across what you're wanting, and that could be the difference to making one of the best decisions or coming up with the best idea that's needed. But because you're in that people pleasing, don't want to hurt anyone or don't want to ruffle the feathers or whatever it might be, that you actually could be doing not only yourself a disservice, but the company, your family, your friendship group, whatever that situation may be. Yeah, you might be actually doing that more harm than good.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think really having that win-lose or lose-win mentality and that defensive mode. Now, I still go into defensive mode quite often, but I'm trying to catch myself a lot more and go, hang on, just listen, or, get more of an understanding. It's one of those learnt behaviours that you sort of get into, but you just catch yourself and go, okay, time to listen and seek to get an understanding as well. But then, so you move from that defensive when you can sort of start leaving that behind. That comes to that respectful and then that compromise as well. So you respect one another. You've got that chance to have that open communication, to have a chat. But it's when you get to the synergistic and the win-win scenario that you can really have those honest conversations as well, that there's no judging or whatever. It's just more to seek to get an understanding of it, to get that best outcome. That's kind of where I sort of see that. I'm not sure about you, Colleen.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, so it really does bring
seek to understand.
Yeah, which was our last habit, I think, wasn't it? So yeah, I think, let me just close that. I know those lines weren't completely straight, but it was better than the last.
It was pretty impressive.
We're learning.
We're getting there. We're
getting there. So, I mean, this was a pretty simple chapter. I think it sort of, like we said, brings it all together. And I just think getting to this point and seeking to understand and having good chats, this is where you can really have that open, because you have to be vulnerable as well, because you're bringing what you think to the table, and people are questioning you in a good way, to seeking to understand. So you have to have that vulnerability, which you get through the first 3 chapters, because you're building on that. So you really do have to have that in you to get to that habit 6 of synergizing as well. So it's all comes together.
All comes together. And then we're up to the final habit, which is sharpening the saw.
Yeah. So I think that's
a good one.
Sort of like your maintenance, I think. So
constant and never-ending improvement.
It's keeping that, when we have the segments, it's important but not urgent. It's those sorts of activities and those practices there. So yes, so that was a quick one from us today, I think. So hopefully you get enough out of that and see the rewards for doing the works through the other habits. So keep soldiering on, you're getting there, and we'll do habit 7 next week.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Pauline, for joining.
You're welcome. Look forward to seeing you all next week.
Yeah, we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.